Las Vegas, otherwise known as Sin City, Glitter Gulch, the entertainment capital of the world. While they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right now I'm going to show you how to do a drive-by shooting so your memories will last forever. In order to pull off a drive-by shooting properly, you have to have a GoPro and the suction cup mount. I cleaned off the top of the hood of my truck because you need a clean suction cup, clean hood to make sure that it doesn't fall off on the road while you're driving, which would be absolutely horrible thing to have happen. So I'm mounting it on the hood and trying to make sure it's straight. Push the button down and mount it. Try to have it level. That doesn't look quite level, so I'm going to do it again. I also put the camera on time-lapse mode instead of video mode. I think it looks more interesting on time-lapse. And I put it on a half a frame a second, or a frame every half a second, I'm sorry, instead of 1 second or 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And that's just because we're not going very far. We're only going from all the way down Las Vegas Boulevard to downtown, which is just a few miles. So anyway, here we go. I'll show the video after we're done with it. Thanks. Hey everybody, so I'm back in Reno and I am working on putting together this tutorial on doing a drive-by shooting with a GoPro. And I went ahead and edited out about the first 30 or 40 shots and about the last 20 or 30 shots because it was just when I was pulling out of the parking lot or trying to make sure that I got out okay. And then the rest of it showed me just stopping the camera. So I had almost 3,000 shots, and now I've narrowed it down to 2,785 photos. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the first one that I plan to use and hit the develop mode. Now I think the most important thing here is on the enable profile corrections. So my camera is tilted up a little bit, and I've got it on the hood of my truck with the wide angle adapter. And as you can tell through the bottom here that it makes the front of my truck look like it's completely bent. Now if I hit the enable profile corrections, then I have a straight hood of my truck. You don't even see it anymore. I'm going to go ahead and hit remove chromatic aberrations just in case. And then I am going to bring down the highlights. As we can see here, I'm going to hit Alt, and on the whites, we've got quite a bit there that's blown out. So I'm going to try to bring that down. Do with the highlights too. I just want to get that white arrow to not show up anymore. Now I like to have a little bit of black, so I'm going to add a little bit of black. Bring in some shadow detail so we can see what's going on Las Vegas Boulevard. And then I'm going to add a little bit of clarity and add about 10 of vibrance. And I think for now that that's going to work just fine, but I need to sync this first shot to the rest of them. So I'm going to go back to my library, go back to the mode where I can see all the thumbnails, and then select all of them and hit the sync settings button, and then synchronize. That keeps the images consistent. Now the light was changing while I was driving, so it's not going to be perfect, but it will help. Alright, so I've got those just about synced. Now I'm going to do what takes a little bit of time, is I'm going to export these. Export, and I'm going to have this go in my desktop, new folder. I'm going to call it Vegas Drive-By. Whoop. Hit the create button and hit choose and export. Now this is going to take quite a while, probably about an hour or so. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it. So I did the export, and it took over 2 hours to export the 2700 JPEGs. And now I'm in step 2, where I'm in the GoPro software, which comes with a GoPro camera. Alright, so I'm going to do import new files, go to my desktop, and select my Vegas drive-by photos. And it's building a reference movie. My first decision that I have to make after these are imported is to decide what my frame rate that I want to use. 30 frames a second is typical for North America and Japan. 25 frames a second is typical for pretty much everywhere else. Now that's regarding video. Hollywood motion picture is typically 24 frames a second, which kind of slows it down a little bit and gives it this kind of classy old movie type look. So I think that that's what I'm going to go for, is the 24 frames a second. All right, so that has imported. So I select my clip, then go down to advanced settings here. And right now it's at 29.97 frames a second. I'm going to go ahead and go to 23.98. I've got the quality on high, and then I just hit OK. And then I'm going to hit the add clip to conversion list, which puts it over here, and then hit the convert, and it will put it together at the chosen frame rate. This will take a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this again. Okay, so that conversion took about 2 minutes. It was made this 23.98 frames a second. I've got the video. I also downloaded some audio from YouTube's website where they have music that can be used for free. And I just randomly picked this because I like the title of the song, Drive Away. I thought that was kind of appropriate with the project. So I've dragged the video over to the timeline. I'm going to drag the audio over to the timeline. And as I can tell, the audio is a little too short. So I'm going to go to the end here. The end of my video wasn't that great anyway, and I'm just going to cut it off at the end of the audio. Now I need to do a little bit of adjustment here. On the audio, I like to have it fade out about 3 seconds before it's over. And I don't have any real reason for that. I just kind of think it's kind of neat to have it fade out. Then I got to click back on the video, and I want to look at the framing. One thing that I've noticed is on the vertical framing, I tend to like to have all the sky up top because it's going to have to be cropped. So I'm going to go in favor of keeping all the sky. And so then I think that everything here is ready to go. I've got it on best resolution. And so now I just need to click it on export. And I'm going to call it Vegas Drive-By. Put it on my desktop. It's going to be 1 minute and 48 seconds long. I will play this after it's finished.